to 13 Rock with Eric Melodica on Vinylestimes Classic Rock Radio.
Say a storm of her trees kept the wolves at bay. She grew like a queen, a sight to behold. Such a goddess, but a thief of your heart and soul. The night is for lovers when the darkness calls. In time she was blown from the western plains, a power over thunder and lightning rain. A pure force of nature no man could own. Her beauty and the beast was beyond control. This light is for lovers when the darkness calls. Signs to remember, finding true love. Diamond chasing all this time, caught up in the calico. Sighs fan the embers, lighting you up. Hands embrace beyond this night forever. In the darkness she waits, fearless, sublime. Of my words, this is true. Shared by design is the love she creates. Like a lantern should reveal the sun. The enchantment I will spit becomes fearless tonight.
Hell yeah, sur la Web Rock Station on Vinylestimes, the Classic Rock Radio en direct ce soir avec nous, Mr. Gary Hughes of TEN. Hi Gary, nice to meet you.
Hi, good evening to you. How are you doing? You okay?
Yes, I'm great. I'm really happy. I'm really excited for talking to you on air tonight on 213 Rock, Web Rock Station, Vinylestimes Classic Rock Radio.
Fantastic. I'm really pleased to be here. Thanks for having me. That's fantastic.
Yeah, thank you very much for accepting my invitation.
No problem at all. No problem at all. It was either that or, just sit here getting bored. So I thought I might as well have some action, get some excitement going tonight,
Ok, en direct ce soir, Mr. Gary Hughes of TEN, donc il vient présenter le 15e album du groupe, ça fait quelque chose déjà. Here Be Monsters, notamment ce soir en direct sur le 113 Rock Vinylestimes Classic Rock Radio. Je rappelle que Gary a été il y a quelques mois en direct dans l'émission Last Ride du Doc Olivier pour présenter son album solo. Ça, c'était il y a quelques mois en tout cas. Le podcast aussi, il est disponible sur le site vinyltimes.fr. So, TEN is back, Gary. TEN is back with a new and 15th album, a new album called Here Be Monsters. 3 years after Illuminati releases in late 2018. Yes, 2018 through Frontiers Records, man. Wow. Sounds good. Good.
Yeah, well, we're glad that this one's out. It's one of those that we began to record a couple of albums during lockdown, and obviously to make use of the time, do something creative with the time. And of course, the first one's ready. The first one's out there now, so we're really pleased about that. It takes time through the COVID situation, obviously, with not being able to be together at one point in the same room to complete different instrumental parts and that. But we managed to get through all that, and we managed to sort of start lifting restrictions enough for us to be able to fix things and be able to get them ready and get them ready for press. So yeah, we kind of provided it back in sort of September last year, and of course Frontiers like to schedule things up. So yeah, it's been finished about 6 months, but yeah, it's out now, so that's fantastic.
Effectivement. Alors, donc, pour résumer tout ça, et alors oui, donc je rappelle, durant la période de Covid-19, il a été en direct dans l'émission Last Ride, et puis en même temps, il a beaucoup travaillé, beaucoup bossé durant cette période de la pandémie. Il a notamment, ça lui a pris à peu près plus de 6 mois en tout cas, pour bosser sur cet album, le Here Be Monsters, qui est un très gros disque. Pop. Il y a des singles à l'intérieur, il y a des beaux titres. Ça a totalement surpris tous les spécialistes comme ça, Vinylestimes, tous ceux qui nous suivent, et même je les ai vus sur les réseaux sociaux, en tout cas, notamment sur Facebook, etc. Ils sont dithyrambiques concernant ce nouvel album. C'est ce single, enfin ces 2 titres déjà qui ont été disponibles juste avant la sortie de l'album, qui étaient Hurricane et puis en même temps Fearless, 2 titres absolument fantastiques, les singles. Donc tout ça, on va en parler ce soir. C'était vraiment bien, quoi. So for the new album, Here Be Monsters, you have produced and mixed by Dennis Ward. This association is a winner because the sound is great.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, Dennis is the ultimate professional. He's I've worked with him for a lot of years now, and he seems to know instinctively what we're looking for with the sound of the album. And especially when we record things, I mean, lots of musicians feel the same way as this, but when we finish recording them, it's very often we're too close to the songs that we've recorded to be able to be objective with regard to the mix. So we always trust Dennis to sort of finish off and mix and master, and he always comes up with the goods. He's one of those guys that he keeps going with it until he's absolutely happy it's perfect, and then it's only then is it ready for release. So yeah, really happy continuing the relationship with Dennis Ward, really.
Effectivement, que cette association elle est gagnante. Gary a produit l'album, ensuite Dennis a fait le mix, et quand Dennis a reçu donc toutes les parties, il a dit que ça va être fantastique, quoi, ça va être superbe. Effectivement, le résultat il est très bon, il est très heureux, il espère encore à l'avenir, bien évidemment, ils travailleront encore ensemble. Ouais, c'est un beau disque, c'est un beau choix, c'est bien fait, c'est bien mélodique, c'est bien pesé en tout cas, et nous on aime ce type de musique au sein de l'équipe Vinylestimes Classic Rock Radio. And Gary, for example, 2 single tracks which are available on social media, Hurricane and Fearless. About Hurricane, I was totally conquered by the quality of the track, and Fearless too.
Oh, thank you very much. Very kind of you. It's one of those songs that it needed to be sung in a certain way. The melody sort of lent itself to a certain sort of timbre. So I had to get very close. It was one of those that instead of getting close to far away from the mic and belting one out, you're in a situation where you try and get a little bit closer, a little bit more intimate with the mic to get more of the breath on there. And yeah, it seemed to work really well. I was really proud of that song, really, because again, it was almost like the anti-love song, because it's obviously a love song, but it's very heartbreaking at the same time, because it's like a desolation of a chorus, really. So yeah, it's all about love and breakups, but at the end of the day, it's about the sort of resigning yourself to the fact that whatever happens is inevitable. So it's with regard to the destiny of love, really, and the way things end up. Sometimes you're not in control of the way things end up, and that's I think that came across quite well in the song. Really pleased with that one. Yeah, but I'm glad you like it. Great.
Effectivement, qu'on aime ce titre, c'est parfait en tout cas, ça colle parfaitement, it fits very well, ça colle super bien, c'est bien fait, c'est bien produit, c'est bien mixé, c'est surtout bien écrit, et oui, il en est très fier en tout cas. Gary est vraiment pride, comme il dit, c'est ça, il a touché, c'est la réalité, c'était la destinée de ce disque en tout cas, ce qui soit parfait, c'est exactement ça. And you know what, the feedback from your fans are great, man. You have a lot of fans really from over the world, because the messages, the messages posted in different languages on the social media, especially in YouTube. I found this very important.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, well, especially nowadays, this really is the sort of the benchmark, if you like, the sounding board for everything now. And just really pleased that, because obviously fans have to wait quite a period of time in between albums, and it's nice to know that when you try and create something that you really do put your heart and soul into, that, you know, they like it at the end of the day, because that's that's the reason why you do it. You know, at the end of the day, we're none of us in a situation, especially bands like TEN and of our ilk. You know, nobody's at the kind of the Def Leppard, Whitesnake level. And so we're certainly not in it for, you know, the millions of dollars that we're not making. You know, we've got to be in it for a little bit more. So we're really in it for the music, and really the feedback is the payment. That is what, you know, means the world to us, that we get feedback of that kind. That's brilliant.
Effectivement que le feedback, c'est la monnaie d'échange. Alors c'est pas celle de Def Leppard voire de Whitesnake, mais bon, en tout cas, avoir des fans à travers la planète qui laissent des messages dans différents langages sur les réseaux sociaux, et ça c'est très important, quoi. Et il en est très très conscient, quoi. And the songs of the new album catch our attention very well. I think it's very important because your songs stayed in our mind.
Oh, I'm really flattered that you should say so. The thing is, people sometimes ask me, they sometimes say, well, you know, are there any concepts on the albums, and there's, you know, various questions like that. And really, each time we do an album, it's more a case of trying to do an album full of concepts rather than one theme moving through the album. And so we're always looking, I'm always, as a songwriter, I'm always looking for different subject matters, some that, you know, hopefully that I haven't done before, that I haven't touched on before. And I think, you know, sometimes when you look at I work them until I'm satisfied that, you know, this is sort of original as far as TEN's concerned. And that only then is it you know, is it allowed to come forward. I think as well, sometimes, especially with the ballads, you know, there's lots of subject matters with the rock songs and with the power songs or the quicker ones, but when you get to a ballad, really, it's very unusual that a ballad isn't a love song. So when you're dealing with one subject matter, you know, you've really got to find so many angles on that to make something different. So it becomes a little bit more difficult with the ballads. So it's even more satisfying when something pays off and when something comes to completion. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that.
Oui, effectivement. Donc pour les sujets de l'album, hein, je disais tout à l'heure, donc dans la question, que c'était très important que cet album ait attiré notre attention et surtout qu'il reste en état d'esprit, parce que les mélodies sont très catchy et elles restent donc en tête. Et puis donc il a cherché différents sujets, hein, jusqu'à qu'il trouve la meilleure chose. Il a beaucoup travaillé jusqu'à satisfaction, et en même temps, hein, donc il a eu aussi quelques balades. Il a essayé d'avoir le meilleur angle possible. Alors, c'est ça qu'il voulait, c'était l'angle d'attaque pour trouver la meilleure mélodie, pour que ça reste dans le subconscient, effectivement. Et c'est ça aussi la qualité, le secret d'un album réussi, c'est que la mélodie reste dans l'état d'esprit, et ça c'est important, quoi. And on this album, there is a big work of guitar, very rich keyboards player, and the bass and drums are very fine, and of course your superb voice.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, the guys in the band now, everybody has a department now, and everybody seems to respect each other's departments. And it's one of those things where, again, with the solos, Dan Rosingana and Steve Grocott, they know instinctively who will suit a song better, you know, of their different styles, because they're so very different as two guitar players. And really, so they're quite complementary with each other about their own work, about each other's work, which helps as well, because they're happy to take criticism as well sometimes from each other when one thinks, oh, you can do that better, or you can play that better, or whatever. And I think because they're both so into each other's playing, they're obviously take a great care and attention in their own solo work, but equally as much when it's the other guy working on his solos, because they just want each of their performances to be as good as it can possibly be. I think that's something that sometimes people forget, that when you create an album, any album of this nature, once it's on the CD or once it's on the vinyl, you really got to, unless you record it years down the line, re-record it years down the line, you've got to live with that performance for, I don't know, the next 20, 30 years. So you better make sure it's right first time. And I think they both support each other in each of their roles to make each other's performances, if you like, to drive each other that little bit further to make it really as good as they can. And I think that only comes after years of working together. So yeah, really happy with the guys in the band and the way they work together.
Alors effectivement, ça fait longtemps qu'ils travaillent ensemble, hein, tous ensemble, et puis il a un line-up, hein, et donc en fait il a un gros line-up dernière nuit d'ailleurs que je vais vous présenter. Le line-up, c'est donc Gary Hughes vocal, c'est Dann Rosingana au lead guitar, Steve Grocott guitare aussi, John Halliwell rythme guitare, Daniel Treece-Birch au clavier, il y a Steve McKenna à la basse et Markus Kullman à la batterie. Donc tout ce beau monde ont eu des idées, ont eu beaucoup d'idées. Donc il a fallu faire le tri, il a fallu faire l'équilibre. Et puis c'est important aussi, il a pensé aussi version CD, version vinyle. Il a pensé à beaucoup de choses et ça a été au départ pour mettre tout en face, toutes ces idées-là, ça a pris du temps. Donc c'est pour ça, là, rien que la composition a pris 6 mois. Après, l'enregistrement est arrivé subitement, mais ça a été long au départ en termes pour équilibrer et satisfaire tout le monde. Et ça, c'était l'objectif recherché, quoi. And the track that I found very incredible is The Dream That I Fell to Earth. Unbelievable track.
Oh, great stuff. Fantastic.
Very
Thanks
different.
Very much.
Yeah, very different.
Again, a very unusual subject matter for us as well. That kind of sci-fi thing, with almost of the old, if you like, of the old sort of sci-fi B-movies of the 60s and the 50s and 60s, and the idea that this spacecraft would crash and that this beautiful alien would be cast out of the wreckage and the whole point that he rescues her sort of, and basically his life can't be the same without her. So he's, it's a very simple thing. It's obviously it's not a new concept, but it was just, I have this love of sort of sci-fi and all things historical and various different things, anything that's escapism really. And I just thought, never done one of those, and I just thought it'd be a really good subject matter. But yeah, like the melody as well on that one, because it's quite sort of hooky. There's a few hooks in there, and quite complex in its drum work and that. But really good. I'm really glad that you like that song as well. Yeah, it's an unusual choice.
Effectivement, que c'est un super choix, The Dream That I Fell to Earth. C'est un titre un peu dans l'esprit science-fiction des vieux films, notamment. C'est ce qui l'a inspiré pour l'écriture de ce titre. Et puis donc, il a mentionné quand même quelques anciens films. Et en même temps, l'inspiration, elle est toujours là, quoi. C'est cool, c'est classe, quoi. Allez, en direct ce soir sur le 113 Rock, Vinylestimes, le Classic Rock Radio, Gary Hughes of TEN, en direct sur le 113 Rock. Gary, I had a great time finally to listening all the entire album. The songs are different from each other, but always the same sensitivity. For example, Chapter and Psalm and The Miracle of Life are the proof.
Oh, brilliant! Thank you. Yeah, two tracks I'm really keen on. I like Chapter and Psalm in particular because I think that it has all the flavors of sort of classic TEN.
That's right.
It's kind of in the vein of the earlier albums, and it has Dan on that one in particular. Dan Rosingana, he said we always had this thing about doing one of them solos that you can hear right until the fade, and I said, well, there's no reason why we have to finish this song early. Why don't we just tail it out at the end with the choruses and just you solo until you've had enough? I think it was going off a Journey track called Who's Crying Now, where there's a Neil Schon solo that fades almost to the last note of the solo. And so we did the same thing with Chapter and Psalm, and I think it just gives Dan a chance to sort of play around with the end bit there again. But again, a big chorus full of hooks. A song that I think is destined to be played live when we go out. So, it's one of them that's really made for the live arena. Similarly with Miracle of Life, a very different track for us, almost a singular gang chorus, almost some vocals. But again, a nice sort of melancholic melody in the verse parts, and then the power in the choruses. So it's a tale of two cities really, but the best of both worlds at the same time.
Effectivement que les titres de cet album sont à peu près différents des uns des autres, mais toujours la même sensibilité. Par exemple, il y a 2 titres, Chapter and the Psalm et The Miracle of Life, donc sont les preuves. Lui, il a beaucoup travaillé les chorus, effectivement. Il apprécie franchement qu'on lui dise que les titres sont différents des uns des autres. Il a gardé quand même cette même sensibilité et ça, c'est important pour lui, dans le fond, mais vraiment dans le fond, quoi. And He Built the Monsters, finally, is a captivating album, sensitive, inspiring and very melodic album.
Oh, thank you very much. Very kind of you to say so.
Yes. In a moment, I think in a moment of sadness, this album can help the fan to find a positive energy.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Well, if it succeeds in that respect, then it's done everything that we would want it to do. Especially emerging as we are in this, coming out of the pandemic through the endemic now, they're calling it, aren't they? But it's what we all need. We need to get back to a bit of normality now. Slowly but surely, we're all emerging, and we've survived at the end of the day. Lots of people haven't. And I agree with you. Anything that brings a smile to people's faces now or makes people feel in any way happy, brings those emotions out, then it's got to be worth, making albums like that. That's fantastic. Great stuff.
Effectivement que cet album est fantastique, il est captivant, il est sensitif, il est inspirant, c'est un bon album de mélodie, de hard rock, mélodique hard rock, et en même temps, dans les moments de tristesse ou les moments où on a besoin peut-être à l'écoute de cet album, on retrouve une certaine positive énergie, et c'est ça quoi, avec beaucoup d'émotions. Donc là, effectivement, c'est là où cet album prend sa force quoi, et peut vous aider effectivement dans un moment de tristesse, peut vous aider à son écoute, à vous sortir peut-être, à vous trouver une idée pour vous sortir d'un problème. En tout cas, en termes d'inspiration, ça peut vous aider et c'est ça sa force, quoi. Allez, en direct ce soir sur le 113 Rock, Vinylestimes, Classic Rock Radio, Gary Hughes qui vient nous présenter l'album 10 Here Be Monsters. En voici le track listing. L'album démarre avec Fearless, ensuite Chapter and Psalm, ensuite Hurricane, 4 Stranger in a Distant Shore, en 5 The Dream That Fell to Earth, en 6 The Miracle of Life, en 7 Immaculate Friends, en 8 Anything You Want, en 9 Follow Me Into the Fire et en 10 The Longest Time sur le 113 Rock, Vinylestimes, le Classic Rock Radio. Gary, just before the end, please, 2 more questions. The first one, I hope one day to see you once again in Paris, because last time it was with Royal Hunt, a long time ago.
That was indeed, yeah. And yeah, we'd love to play in Paris. We've started to put some live shows together for the end of this year. I do believe that actually we're coming to a festival in Belgium in November, and then I think that we're just about to schedule in a performance at a festival the week after in Germany. So it makes sense, really. How can we come to Europe without coming to France? At the end of the day, we need to try and look at putting some shows, in France and Spain and Portugal. When we come out to Europe, it would make sense to do a lot more than just 2 or 3 shows. So we'll look into that, and hopefully we'll be able to get out there and come and see you guys really soon.
Ok, effectivement, hein, donc il y aura déjà très certainement, il y a ce fameux festival en novembre en Belgique où ils sont en programmation, et il y a d'autres dates du côté du Portugal et d'autres dates en Europe, mais il n'oublie pas la France, bien sûr, qui viendra. Gary, thank you very much for this live interview. Do you have a message for the audience tonight, and another message for all the people, because you are following you through Facebook, because you have a lot of Facebook fan page of TEN, of Gary Hughes, yes, from around the world.
Yeah, really just to say that I'm glad everybody's still around. I'm glad that we've all survived the pandemic, and really considering that we've been going nearly 25 years now, thank you very much indeed for really staying with us. And again, we've been through all kinds of different times, good times and bad times. People seem to still rally. People seem to still have that resilience as humans. And really, we just consider ourselves thankful every day of our lives that we're blessed with such sort of great fans, as really loyal fan support. So hopefully we'll repay that with the music that we're producing, and hopefully we'll be able to come out and see as many of you as we can very soon in a theatre or in a live arena, to be able to see you guys. And really, again, I'm humbled, and thank you very much.
Et donc, Gary Hughes of TEN était en direct ce soir sur le 113 Rock, Vinylestimes, le Classic Rock Radio. Je rappelle, l'album est disponible à travers donc toutes les plateformes digitales de cette planète, notamment les Spotify, les Deezer, etc. L'album s'appelle Here Be Monsters. Il est disponible depuis le 18 février, c'est-à-dire il y a 4 jours déjà. Tout de suite, on continue en musique sur 213 Rock, Vinylestimes, le Classic Rock Radio, avec le single Hurricane on Vinylestimes Classic Rock.
Don't turn away, why won't you stay? Words from the heart falling cold on my skin. Life deals a fate that's so hard to take. This killer strikes from within. I'm like a wraith now who cries for the others crawling. I drift through life remembering this bitter taste that lasts far beyond wise words and brothers' warnings. There's no one left here to blame. I'm fading like the winter sun, lost in the hurricane. the page, ghost on the stave. Between the lines, owner specters engage. Time slips away, ticks lighter each day. We live and die on a whim, too much to take now. One flies whilst another's falling. Tendrils of life condemn the day. Nature's embrace now. Thunder and lightning, a mother's calling. There are no words left to say. I'm fading like the winter sun, lost in the hurricane. The shadow song has been sung too long. I've traded all my principles, I'll never love again. I don't belong here now. I'm fading like the winter sun, lost in the hurricane. The shadow song has been sung too long. I've traded all my principles, I'll never love again. I don't belong here now. I'm fading like the winter sun, lost in the hurricane. The shadow song has been sung too long. I've traded all my principles, I'll never love again. I don't belong here now. I don't belong here I don't belong here now. With these
Hell yeah, sur la Web Rock Station on Vinyl Times, The Classic Rock Radio. Nous étions en direct avec Gary Hughes, un grand monsieur du melodic rock avec son groupe TEN. Je rappelle, le nouvel album est disponible sur toutes les plateformes digitales, aussi en CD, en vente via le label Frontiers Records. N'hésitez pas à le commander, c'est un très bon disque, en tout cas si vous aimez ce style. L'album lui s'appelle Here Be Monsters, donc j'espère que l'interview, en tout cas vous l'avez apprécié. Il a apporté énormément de réponses, elles étaient vraiment très longues mais très cool en tout cas et très précises. Un mec génial qui a hâte de venir jouer en France. Ça, il me l'a encore dit hors antenne. J'ai hâte de venir jouer dans Paris et les villes françaises parce que il y a du monde et je sais qu'il y a du monde qui m'attend et j'ai envie de jouer devant eux, quoi. Et il est très motivé, quoi.